Hello everyone. So there was a question on the community about renaming the users. Now this question is really important because renaming a user, especially when you are using LDAP or external directory, is something that you would do when you are probably migrating from one Jira instance to another Jira instance, or maybe let us say two Jira instances are merged where you have usernames of same user, same people, but with different nomenclature. So let us say if my username is Ravi Sagar in one Jira instance, and in other Jira instance it is Sagar R, and let us say the Jira instances that I'm using, let us say two Jira instances are merged together in one Jira instance, then I of course need just one username, right? Maybe Ravi Sagar. So basically you have to merge the users, or basically you have to perform user mapping. So the requirement here is that let us say there is a user called user A, and if that user A has a username in Jira, like user A, whatever, but once the user becomes a full-time employee, maybe the username has to be renamed. So the whole point here is that you have to rename the user of the same user, same person, so that when that particular person logs into Jira, that person will see after the renaming, after logging into Jira with the new username, renamed username, that person should still see the old data which was associated with the old username. Now the process is actually, it is not straightforward. I mean, you can always go to the database and you can do it straight away in the database. I mean, there is a directory ID and there is also a username which you can rename, but it is of course a bit tricky because that username can be stored. It is usually stored in multiple places, multiple tables, and it will most likely not work for new Jira users. I do have, when we used to do it, I remember it was a painful procedure. But the proper way of doing it is actually not very complicated. It has some steps involved, but it works. It works really well. So what you need to do, so broadly there are 3 steps. So the first thing that you need to do, you need to basically make sure that in your Jira instance, on data center version by the way, you have your, so let us say if my username is Ravi Sagar and I need to be renamed to R Sagar, right? One example. Now my Ravi Sagar username is coming from, let us say, LDAP. So what needs to be done? First, disable the LDAP in the directory in your Jira instance. So the LDAP is disabled. I won't be able to log in because I'm the LDAP user. So the second thing that you need to do, or basically in the same step, what you need to do, you need to create that user with a new username. So let us say my target username after the renaming would be R Sagar. So create this user in Jira with the same association, same groups and everything, so that if I log in with this new username, I can still log in to my Jira instance with the same level of rights. And once you rename the user, you then have to enable the directory again. So when you enable the directory again, the new user, the renamed user in the active directory will be synced with this renamed user. So what will happen in this case? It will basically ensure that you're logging in with the LDAP authentication, but you are you're basically still have access to your data. So basically, if you have any issues assigned to you, it will probably have other things that are applicable to your account. So because you renamed the original user, basically you have to rename the original user that was Ravi Sagar, that you will first create in local directory, and then of course you will rename it. And once you enable the active directory again, you can then ensure that that person with the renamed user is now logging in or can log in using the active directory. So let me know if this makes sense, but this is how it is done, and it is of course not straightforward, but it is at the same time not massively complicated. It is definitely not complicated as doing things directly in Jira database. But I thought I'll probably talk about it, and I'll share this with all of you. And by the way, if you're doing it for one user, it works simply by doing it manually. But if you're doing it for multiple users, you can write a script, a Groovy script, using a script not for Jira. And of course on data center, not yet on cloud. And that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.